I think whenever they go right, it's when everybody's communicating and are on the same page, right? Everybody wants to know where you are in the project. Developers want to know where the job is compared to the schedule and where the budget is compared to the contract. And, when you have a contractor that doesn't have the ability to offer such a collaborative platform, or they don't want to be quite as transparent with the budget as we're likely to do, it gives an unease to the developer of where is the job and how are we looking on the schedule and how are we looking in the budget. Whenever they get to that point, there's a question of trust, and you don't want to get there with a developer because he's trusted you to get the job built for the money that he has available to build the job in the time frame that you told him you can build it. So the best jobs are the jobs that are very open and transparent and collaborative, where I would say the more challenging jobs are the jobs where information's withheld or information is just not available. Updated metrics aren't there to be able to really tell the client where they are in the process, and that just creates tension and unease and a lot of arguments that just don't need to happen. I think the transparency is a huge deal because none of the contractors are going to get rich on a singular project. It's a wealth built over time, if you will, based on a relationship that carries over from project to project to project. And so if you have a contractor that you can trust that can deliver on time and can deliver within budget, then you want to continue to work with that contractor as much as you can because you get predictable results out of that contractor. And so, being transparent about where we are in the whole process from start to finish, from design to punch list, is imperative. And, the operational systems that we use allow us to do that. It's the same concept as we've talked about with developers. If you've got a subcontractor that you can trust to get it done and they're open and honest with where they are, you can trust the information that they're giving you that you can then turn and give to the client. And, we're only as good as the subcontractors that are working for us and are only as accurate as the information that they're giving us to pass along. And so with trusted subcontractors, that's what we look for. Have they performed for us in the past? Is it predictable and repeatable? And if so, then we want to use those guys as much as we can because that allows us to shine in the eyes of the developer. I know contractors that have questionable reputations, if you will, in the sub community that, talking to subs, they don't like to work with this guy or only work with this guy because they have to. For us, we don't self-perform any of the work. So subcontractors are responsible for doing that. And again, if they're not successful, then we won't be successful. And you have to understand that it's nobody does this at this stage for practice, right? Everybody's doing it to be profitable. And it's our job as a general contractor to maintain the balance between a subcontractor being profitable and the project being successful to the owner. And walking that line is important. And so having subcontractors that trust you as a general contractor is just as important as having subcontractors that the general contractor trusts. The low number is not always the best number. It's just the low number. And so when we build our estimates, we factor all the sub-bids across our bid tabs to make sure they're all apples to apples. And you can eliminate some of the low numbers because of just how scary low sometimes they are. And, we've lost jobs because of that and looked at the numbers backwards and forwards and have been open with developers saying, I don't think you can get this job built for the number that you've told us. And oftentimes it proves out to be the case. We try to put everything in the number that we feel like is necessary to get the job built, not just only what's on the paper, because these things aren't built just off paper. And so if you're just looking at the bottom line number, grip and rip bid tabs, and the same for developer evaluation of their numbers, then chances are you're not going to be close to what the job is at the end of the day, what it really costs to get built. It takes a team to get the project built, from the design team to the developer to the contractor to the subcontractors. And Our job is to play the middle to where everybody is working in the same direction to get the job complete. It's not somebody's fault. You're not blaming the architect for bad plans or blaming a sub for poor performance or blaming the developer for not getting something that they needed to get done. It's a collective approach to getting the job finished. Everybody is responsible to get the job done at the end of the day. And pointing blame to certain people as to why you're not getting it done is not the way to do it. You want to work in a collaborative manner. We're a team to get this through the finish line, and you've got to treat everybody as team members to be able to keep that mindset through the entire team to get to the finish. And it's not about whose fault it is that you have problems. You're going to have problems. It's about how you fix those problems and how you navigate those issues and the solutions that you can bring to the table to keep everything moving. Again, at the end of the day, subcontractors do the vast majority of the work. And if they enjoy who they're working with, they'll work a lot harder for you and have a lot less problems than if they don't. And it's just me for myself. You want a contractor that can collaborate with the subcontractors and the subcontractors trust. And so I wouldn't call developers, I wouldn't call other general contractors, I'd call the subs. They're the guys that do the work. And if they tell you they'd love to work with this guy or this contractor, then that's the guy you want to go with. That's who I would suggest you hire.